Hey guys, welcome to Peripheral Vision, and today we're going to be taking a look at game box art. We're actually going to probably make a series out of this where I take a system and then I take a bunch of game boxes from that system and just look over them, even if I haven't played the games themselves, and just look at the art and talk a little bit about it, because I think game box art can be weird and fascinating and an interesting look into the time frame that it came from. Today we're actually going to be doing a really interesting system for box art, which is the Odyssey 2. And this first game is KC Munchkin, one of the few games I have any knowledge of. I don't know much about the Odyssey 2's game library, so I'm really going in blind on this, but there seems to be a common theme from the little bit that I have looked at these, and that is everything is overjoyed and terrified. So get used to being scared, because a lot of these box arts are supposed to be inviting, but they end up looking like they're going to eat you. So here's KC Munchkin, which is a very shameless Pac-Man clone. Next up we've got one of my favorites, actually, which is Killer Bees. Let me show you the back of the box real quick, just so you can see the comparison between the actual graphics of the game and the game art. So a little bit of a differential there. I do like how on the bottom of this one it shows kind of what the actual game looks like, but on the front it's got this really well done image of a fly, even though this is called Killer. That's definitely just a fly, maybe a mutated one, but not a bee, so false advertisement there. Next up we've got Speedway, Spin Out, and Cryptologic, which is a 3-pack, which is cool because this is a really old system. They still had compilation games, and what's interesting about this one is, and a couple other Odyssey 2 games do this, because the Odyssey 2 logo has this 3D effect where it like lunges out at you. It also kind of has the same color scheme as the Night of the Living Dead title, but it's neither here nor there. So because of that 3D effect that the Odyssey 2 has, they sometimes would do the 3D effect with the images. So you can see the race cars like stretching off into the horizon line here, and it's really cool. And actually a lot of these games are, the box arts are better than even the NES library, because most of the NES games have pixel art on the front, which is kind of boring. Here is Smithereens. Unfortunately this one has a big hole in it, but you can see if you look close that there's a these are really beautiful drawings, actually. Very good at inviting people in. Another copy of that game. Next up we have KC's Crazy Chase, which I assume is a sequel to KC Munchkin, and this has got it's got all the same stuff. Scary faces, gonna eat you. It's a little bit different. There's a snake that looks like it's from like a snake game. Everything looks like it's made of Lego bricks, so I do like that sort of aesthetic. Got another copy of that game. Here's one that's I think this is the scariest one of the bunch. It is Nimble Numbers Ned, and he does, I guess he is nimble. He looks nimble. You can see the little motion line here, and he's also terrifying. His head looks like a potato. He looks like a potato got stapled to a little puppet's body, which is I'm taking that away. That is scary. Of course, the horror doesn't end there, and that it continues with Pickaxe Pete. Thrills, chills, and spills as Pickaxe Pete strike it rich in the Misty Mountain Mine. They like their alliteration on these, I suppose. And this is a guy that you would not let your kids hang out with outside of a strongly supervised area, digging for gold. And then there's, I don't know what, oh, it's a key. It's a key from a long view. Okay. Next up we have Atlantis, which is really, this one looks like it could be the cover of a science fiction novel. Up close you can see it just looks like it's and there's Atlantis is really famous. This is one of the standards for the system. I don't really know why I haven't played him, but I do remember somebody telling me that Atlantis is one of the games you really want to play for the Odyssey 2. Next up we have another kind of science fiction book cover. We've got a really neat metallic hand here and the sun and all that stuff. This is Showdown in 2100 AD, which it's weird to think that the 2100 AD isn't that far. It's like 90 years away, but in some people that are watching this, in your lifetime, that's going to be the time frame it is. Next up we've got the Attack of the Time Lord. Ooh, I wonder if this is Doctor Who related. I don't think it is, but I do know that, yeah. lost my words there for a second. Really cool box art here. I like that the little shading effect. This is another one where there's this 3D type effect that they want to implement, and I like that this little lawnmower man guy is almost giving you his O face, because he just loves this game that much. Oh boy, another scary one. We've got P.T. Barnum's Acrobats. I'm sure Barnum and Bailey are happy that they got to put their product placement onto this. Oh my goodness, you look like I don't know. You look kind of like Gallagher a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I don't trust that mustache. R.T. Barnum's Acrobats. And finally, oh, of course, we end on a double with another copy of P.T. Barnum's Acrobats. Apparently, somebody really wanted to have two of these guys at their home because they are weird. But yeah, that is the collection of Odyssey 2 game box arts that I went over, and I think that it, like I said before, it seems to be a weird mix of really beautiful sci-fi themed art and really terrifying caricatures of people that bend in ways that no natural thing could bend in. So that's sort of a hit or miss for me. I would say if you're interested in picking up Odyssey 2 stuff, they're dirt cheap. These boxes say like $30 or $20. They are not. Most box Odyssey 2 games like $5 to $10, and in loose they go a lot cheaper than that. So it's a really cool. It's a fairly easy thing to collect for. It's harder to find these, but they're usually cheaper when you do find them. But that is it, guys. A collection of Odyssey 2 game box arts. I'd like to say that this video is sponsored by SavePoint in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you'd like to check them out, I will include a link in the description to their website so you can purchase these items if you're interested, or contact them about getting a hold of them. And as always, later days.